So do you see how our simple rule of trusting God for everything comes to hand? And it's good to be well practiced in that with trivial situations of life, that you may handle the bigger and bigger situations with ease. What do you do when you have what's called in the world sense of difficulty? You thank God for it. Thank you, Heavenly Dad, for this difficulty. It's not a difficulty with you. With you, it's nothing but blessing. You are changing my life. My life is in your hands. What else would I want to be the case, Lord? What compares to that wonderful blessedness? Nothing at all, Lord. So I thank you for any change or any no change that's going on in my life every day, whenever it occurs to me by your grace and goodness to do so. And it occurs to me in this present situation of looking for accommodation or wondering, or knowing, not even wondering, knowing that there could be a change coming up. But that's the reality of every day, isn't it? Anything could happen. I mean, I was not well last week or so. It could have been major. It was nothing at all in your hands. It passed in a day or two. How wonderful. How wonderful is your provision. Isn't it right that I trust in it? Of course it is. Will you stop putting it in the negative, Marshall? Put it in the positive. Yes, Lord. I hear you. I'll try and adjust my habits with all my heart. So, the simple practice that you're used to is thanking God for all that's good, and all the minor things that might appear not to be good. You know in your heart, you decide to trust, that you're going to believe and trust in God that they're to good. And you've seen how so many of them are. And you've moved into a situation where you trust Him for the residual that you haven't quite seen the blessing of. But you have seen the blessing that you've come through easily because of such things were, such unexplained things to you were no problem to your happiness and joy because you trusted in Him. So you choose to do so now. Whether there's a change you want at the minute, or no change, or a change perhaps that you don't want, you now do. Because you're thanking God for it. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for this life as you have it, every moment as you have it. Just love you, God. So overwhelmingly delighted to trust that it's in your hands. May I live accordingly, Lord, except you see it right to be otherwise, of course. But you do seem to see it right. So as a child, I do my part. I trust the parent. You could say the child can do no other, but that's not true quite. The child could choose to do otherwise, and that would be such a shame, for it would be no good in itself. It's by far the best if the child trusts in the goodness of the parent. How much more when we're thinking of our Heavenly Dad, who has provided so much to date. It would be so inappropriate not to trust Him, wouldn't it? May I trust you, Heavenly Dad, with all my being. Enjoy your joy, trusting in the fact that my joy to you, as chosen by you, is my everything. The joy of the Lord is my strength, you see. And because of that, I have joy in my heart. And if you want scriptural confirmation of such, read John 17. To give you a handrail. I have not left you comfortless. I've come to you in a million ways, and am with you always, and dwell in you. That's what God says, in effect, in John 17. That's what it says to you. He's always with you. And if he chose to take me, well, if Dad says we're moving house, we're moving house. Isn't that exciting? Who knows what loveliness he's thinking of for us? Shall not the God of the whole universe and more, by far, do what is best and good for you, his child? Wouldn't it be so right to trust in such, rather than not? Yes, Lord. Yes, Dad. I hear you. Thank you, Dad.